in. Hello. Come on in. Come on in. Listen, let me get straight to the message. Straight to the message that I have to encourage you and motivate you and help you all out. And that is to let you know that you should be proud of you. Sometimes, we be looking for others to cheer us on and be in our corner and to, cheer us and push us forward. But in this season and at this time, give yourself some credit. Be proud of you because you are making it. You are doing it. You are, overcoming. You are doing the work on yourself. You are healing yourself. You are focused on yourself. You are not blaming anyone. You are doing what it is that you're supposed to do. So you should be proud of you. You should be proud of you for being resilient, for overcoming. You've overcome so much. People would not believe what you had to endure and overcome because you remained silent. You remained silent and you were just focused on getting through it. You were focused on getting through it, right? You were not focused on what was or what happened. Although it hurt, you've cried, you've prayed, you fasted, you did everything you needed to do to make sure that you do not be defeated, that you're not defeated. You remain, taking care of your family. You took care of your health, your mental health. You didn't let yourself go down, right? You didn't let yourself just go under. You could have fell into a deep depression. You could have just lost your mind. But you didn't allow that to happen. You just kept fighting. You just kept believing that God is going to make a way for you, that he's going to show you and pull you out of whatever it is that you're going through. You kept your faith. You didn't call people complaining, gossiping. You didn't expend and, you didn't spend that energy, right? You didn't spend all of your energy being negative. You didn't spend all your energy being negative. You could have called people complaining and talking about what happened to you. You didn't do that. You kind of pulled yourself away from people who believed, some of the lies and narratives that were being stated about you, that were being said about you, right? You realized that those people didn't mean you any good. So you learned to pull back from those people. So you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself for growing up. That is called growth. When you can analyze the situation, when you can assess the situation, and when you can finally, it's called growth and healing. That's what it's called, growth and healing. When you finally could look at your situation and you can assess it and look at the people around you. Look at the people who believe some of those lies that were told about you and look at them and get over, because it does hurt. You get over the fact that they see you in such a negative way, right? And you gave them no reason to see you that way, right? They're only going by what somebody said. When you're able to pull back and see those people for who they really are, and you're like, you know what? It is okay that I pull back from these people. It is okay that I don't be in their energy and they, and I just pull away from them emotionally. It is okay. And you realize that your life will be so much richer and better because you don't have these people around you who really don't mean you any good. If you are a chosen one, you can feel all of that energy. Oh, thank you, Mama Tia. Oh, God bless you for that $100. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Thank you. If when you realize that, see, as a chosen one, right? We could feel a lot of energies. We can feel a lot of things. It's almost like, I ain't gonna say almost like, we are spiritually gifted. And that is a good and it's a negative. It is a good because you get foresight and you get insight But it's a negative when you don't know how to manage your emotions, when you don't know how to manage your gift, right? But I was saying, but when you have people who are around you who don't mean you well, right? You can feel all that. That's why you feel so drained, because the people are around you and they're one way in front of you, but you can feel their heart. You know their intentions, and that weighs on you, that drains you. That's why you can never open up genuinely and honestly and openly to people. That's why you can't be yourself around people, because your spirit knows. You don't recognize it because on the spiritual level, you're not tuned in. You're not tuned in on that spiritual level. On the surface level, these people are doing things for you. These people are buying things for you. So you're conflicted. You're conflicted in your spirit. You're conflicted in your spirit. So they're doing one thing in front of you, but behind the scenes, they're speaking all kind of evil, vile, and vicious things about you. They're gossiping about you. You can't pick up on it because in the natural, they're pretending. They say they love you. They say they like you, but in behind the scenes, your spirit can pick up on that. So you should be proud of yourself for recognizing it is okay to just pull back from people. You don't have to hate people. You don't have to hate them to pull back from them. You don't have to be in their energies, and they don't have to be in your energy and grace and good graces. You pull back from them. You realize that your healing is important. You realize that you spent so much energy, running behind people, trying to save people, trying to be there for people, trying to be present. And when it was time for you to isolate, it was time for you to pull back, that's when you were able to see things. That's when you were able to heal. And you should be proud of that. You should be proud of you finally realizing that it is okay to pull back. You still can love people, but you don't have to be around them. You don't have to go to events that they're in. You don't have to participate in the functions that they have. You don't have to do that. You don't have to invite them to certain things that you have. And it's not that you hate people. It's just that you should be proud of yourself because you finally recognize it is okay. It is okay to be okay with meeting people where they are. It's okay to meet people where they are, and where they are is not where you want to be. And where they are is not how you want them to operate in your life. Life is so much better when we realize that you got to dance with the people who want to dance with you. Come on now, let's get this. Life is so much peaceful and better when you realize you're only dancing with the people who want to dance with you. Don't try to dance with people who don't want to dance with you. Don't dance with people who don't want to be on the same steps as you. They're not on the same dance steps. And it's okay. You should be proud of yourself for healing. You have healed. You are healing. You're doing the work on yourself. You should be proud of yourself for not allowing how people mistreated you to make you treat other people that way. You didn't become the hurt person that was hurt. You didn't become the saying. You know how they say hurt people hurt people? You did not become that saying. You did not make that little statement true. You're welcome, Mama Tia. You did not make that statement become true. You still remain the chosen one as you are. You still remain a good-hearted person. You didn't take all that hurt and pain that people inflicted on you. You didn't take that out on other people. As far as people know, you just got the good life. As far as other people know, you just living this good life. You're always happy. You got good energy. But they don't know the hell that you've been through. They don't know that you've been through so much. If you told them what you've been through, they'll call you a liar. because you didn't let that energy seep down in your bone marrow. You didn't become bitter and sick in your bone marrow. You didn't let that sickness and that poison get down in your spirit. You didn't allow it. That's why you still can look good and glow and energy good. You didn't allow that to make you bitter. You didn't allow that to make you sick. You didn't allow that to make you negative. As far as people know, you normal. You just got this normal life. Your life just seems like it's so easy because you're happy. You're doing the work on yourself. You've learned to let people keep their stuff. Because as a chosen one, like I said, our power is a negative and a positive. If you don't know how to manage your power, people will use it against you. That forgiving heart and that 70 times 7 and 70 times 77, how many times you need to forgive people, you will do it. And people will take advantage of that. You got to know how to manage your gift. Your gift is a superpower. What you have is a superpower. What you have can transform your job. What you have could transform your family. It could transform your children. But you have to know what it is that you carry. That good energy that you have. That is important. That is vital. That's better than that vibranium off of off of Black Panther. That's better than that vibranium from off Black Panther. They was trying to, take out people for that stuff. Chosen ones, what you have is a gift. And you're supposed to implant it and leave places better off than when you came. When you leave a situation, when you leave a job, when you leave a family, when you leave this world, the world should be missing something. When you leave that job, it should miss something. When you walk away from that relationship, that person should always be comparing you to everybody else. You set the bar for everyone else after you. Oh, Mama Tia, that's amazing. And it's okay. It is okay to just be proud and celebrate you. Because this world will have you thinking that you need other people to celebrate you. You don't need other people to celebrate you. It is good to have others to cheer for you and celebrate you. But when you know the obstacles you have overcome, when you know the hurdles that you've overcome, only you can appreciate how you've overcome those hurdles, how you overcame those obstacles. It's going to mean so much more to you because you had to endure it. And when you sit down and be proud of yourself and celebrate yourself and say, you know what, I'm so proud of you. You did not let that get you down. You did not let that stop you from loving. You did not let that stop you from spoiling your next husband, your next wife. You didn't let that stop you from spoiling your children. You didn't transfer the pain that somebody put on you to the next person. As far as you know, the next person, your next spouse, they're gonna think they got a diamond in the rough. They're not going to know that you've been through what you've been through unless you tell them. Because how you treat them is not an indication of your past. How you spoil them and love on them and honor them and respect them, it won't be an indication of what you've been through in the past. There won't be no traces of hurt because you have done the work. You have done the work. You're doing the work. You learn how to let people keep their stuff. When I say let people keep their stuff is, what I mean by that is, because sometimes people will project their hurt and pain onto you, and then you'll take that and carry it to someone else. But no, you've learning to let people keep their stuff. Like if they're upset, they're mad, that's their, let them keep their day, their anger. Let them keep that. That has nothing to do with you. I used to be so sensitive. I used to be so sensitive at one point in my life when I was younger and naive and I didn't understand, my superpower. And the person could have a bad day and they come interrupt my entire day because they got a bad day. But I had to learn. That's their stuff. And it's powerful to have self-control. And it's powerful. And you're going to slip up every now and then. But what I'm saying is, don't be consumed by somebody else's stuff, is what I'm saying. Because we're human. Now, I'm not saying be a robot and not process and feel your emotions. What I'm saying is don't let it consume you. Don't let it sway you. You have to be in control of yourself. Be in control of how you're going to respond. I be testing out on my son, my 12-year-old. Because my 12-year-old, he go from 0 to 100 sometimes. And as moms, you know how we get. When them kids go there, we try to go there with them. And we can't do that. So the other day, he went to 100. I was still at 0. Oh, and that infuriated him so bad. Look, it made him so mad because mommy didn't go to 100 with him. And I see with my own child, I have to learn how to have self-control. I'm just being transparent and honest here. Because as parents, as moms, dealing with the daily, cares of life, them kids could, get under our skins the most. They can get under our skin the most. So, thank you so much, Mama Tia. I appreciate you, dear. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. So, when you're dealing with these kids, they could take you there as a parent. These children, they live with you. They know how to push your buttons. But now if we're wise enough and we take the knowledge God is imparting in us, we can use our children as examples. Because I sure used my son the other day as an example to exercise self-control. But also, God is also teaching me what I prayed for, which is patience with him. So I'm exercising my power of self-control and I'm learning to be patient. But he took it to 100 and I kept it at 0. And he was so angry at me. My son, he was so mad because I didn't go and get all frustrated with him. And just like a child, with adults, they do the same thing. When you don't go to 100 with them, you take your power back. You're in control of yourself. And that's where you have to be at all times. You have to stay calm. You have to stay very calm and just not let it go and get there. Bring yourself back in and stay very calm and not go there. Because when you go there, you're losing self-control. That's why when you hear people say that they don't know what happened, they blanked out. That's a true thing. They blanked out because they went from 0 to 100 too quick. And they lost all sense of self. And you can't do that. You got to always be cognizant. You got to always be aware and present of what's going on. And not be moved and rattled and swayed by everything. But I was so proud of myself. I didn't go to my son. He left the house. He was upset because mommy... he was upset because mommy didn't go there with him. I was so proud of myself. And I was like, I love you, baby. I kept texting him, I love you, son. Have a good day. And and I always text him. I wasn't a thing, but I was letting him know, babe, I still love you. Just because you're upset, I still love you, and I'm still going to tell you I love you, and I'm still going to be doing the same. Right? I'm still going to do the same as I've always done. Just because you're upset with me, that doesn't mean I don't love you. And he came around and, oh, thank you so much, Mama Tia. I appreciate that. so much. Thank you so much. I pray that it's, returned to you. um, but yeah, hi Greta, how are you doing? I didn't think I'd make it this far. I'm proud of myself for making it this far today. If only you all knew. If only you all knew. When I come on here and I be giving y'all these messages, half of the time I was going through my own battles. But see, when you take the focus off yourself, it makes things a lot better. That is when depression come in, and this is how I fight falling into deep depression. I stop worrying about me. I don't worry about me anymore. I don't worry about what I'm going through. When God puts something on my heart, and I come deliver the message, encourage others. I've always been that way, but I understand now why I'm that way. I used to, hate that way sometimes, because sometimes we want to just focus on us and just worry about us. We want to just be all about us, but that's not my nature. That's just not who I am. When you're not wired a certain way, it is hard for you to be a certain way. That's why some of you all, regardless of how people mistreated you, this is what makes people hate the chosen ones, because we are wired different. Regardless of how people treat you or mistreat you, right? You still have a heart that is good towards them. Now, I'm not saying you're a fool, but if they needed help, you still will help them. You still will help them. If they came and asked you for help, now you probably would stop volunteering, but if they came and needed your help, or if you saw that they were in need, you would help them still. You would. And that's the strangest thing, because you have no control over it. It's just how you are. It is just how you're built. It's how you're wired. You can't control it. I've tried to control it. To be honest, I'm going to be honest with you. Let me be transparent. I tried to control it. I tried to turn it off, and I couldn't turn it off. I'm like, where's the switch? Where's my caring switch? Let me just find the switch so I can just, like a light, light switch. Thank you so much, Mama Tia. Yes. Look, I wanted to just find the light switch. The little clap on, clap off, clap on. The little clap on, clap off little light switch thing. I wanted to have one of those just built in internally, and I just don't have it. I just don't have it. And for us to really get to a point to where we can be done, right? We can be done, but we still have that caring heart, which means you can't control the situation. You can't control people, right? You can't force people to do anything or make them do right, right? You're done with them as far as dealing with them in their behavior and how they are. But as far as caring, you will still you care. You care. You care. You'll still help out. You won't get too involved, but you'll still help out. You'll still be there. You'll still be there. You may not put all your emotions and energy like you did before, but you will still help. I think my connection is trying to act up on me, but we'll get it together. What I was saying was, you should be proud of yourself. You've done the work. You are doing the work. You're not blaming anyone, right? You're doing you're taking all the steps. You're taking all the steps. You're doing everything you need to get through this. You're doing everything you can to get over it. You're doing everything that you can to just leave what you got going on behind. Yes, it is buffering. Yes, I can only imagine, Mama Tia, what you've been through. Listen, that's why it's good to share our testimonies. When God released me to share mine, I will be sharing mine. Exactly. Exactly, Greta. And that's where it starts. When you start taking accountability, that's why this channel is here. This channel is here. We are accountable for ourselves, our own happiness. And you take your power back when you say you're accountable. When you become responsible and accountable for your actions, you're not responsible for how people treat you. You're not responsible for that. But you are responsible for how you respond and your outcome. You are responsible. You are responsible for how you move forward and how you treat others. You're responsible for that. You're responsible for that. Yes, you are. Oh, congratulations, Mama Tia. Congratulations, doing the work. And it takes work. It takes work. It is hard work. But it gets easier over time. It gets easier. And once you look at yourself and you realize that you've given your power, you have given your power away to so many people and things. Once you realize that, oh, it's up from there. It's up from there. You have so much control. You have so much control of the direction of your life. Once you realize that you have surrendered your power to things, people, objects, whatever. When you realize you have given up your power, right? When you realize that and you take your power back, it's up from there. You can have a better life. You can have an entirely different life that you don't even recognize. You don't even recognize it. When you take accountability for self, when you say, you know what, that was me. That was me. I stayed there too long. I did this for too long. It was me. And be okay with it and learn the lesson. And be okay with it. You can learn the lessons. Always learn lessons from what you've allowed. That's why it's good to remember things. It's good to remember things because it's good to remember so you won't repeat it again. Excuse me. So you won't repeat it again. That's why it's good to remember. It's good to remember so you won't repeat it. Or you can learn the lesson from it. Or, yes, you can learn the lesson. Yep. So that's what I want to come tell you all. Be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you all for toughing it out. For sticking, for doing the work. It takes a lot. It's hard to do the work. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I'm not going to make it seem like it's so easy. It is hard doing the work. But once you get past the hill, when you're walking up a hill, like a steep hill, it is so hard to climb. But once you get up to the top, things will become easier because those lessons that you've learned, those hard lessons, you could use them in any situation. Any situation that you're in, those lessons could be applied to make that situation easier. Did you understand me? When you learn the lesson, because we are going to always be going through something, right? It's life. We're going to have good days and bad days. But if you learn the lessons now in the very difficult season, You could use and apply those lessons in the next situation that you encounter that is similar. And then guess what? It's going to be easier to navigate. It's going to be easier to navigate because you realize that if you keep your power, the situation has no control over you. If you keep your power, the situation has no control over you. You got control over the situation. I am so thankful for the lessons that I've learned. It took me some years to learn some of these lessons, but I don't regret them because guess what? Now I teach my children. Now I could, prepare them, prep them for what to look out for because of what I've gone through. And sometimes they're going to have to go through their own things. They're not going to remember or listen to everything that I tell them. But, that's their lesson. They will have to learn. They will have to learn. That's all we could do. But I'm so proud of you all. You all keep doing the work. Keep doing the work. Keep doing the work and be proud of yourself. Tell yourself that you are proud of you. Tell yourself why you are proud of you. Right? And it's okay. You can tell yourself that. Because you call yourself negative names sometimes. You call yourself negative things. You have negative thoughts. So tell yourself you're proud of you. Get used to the good things. Get used to telling yourself that you're proud of you and that you have overcome so much. Tell yourself the positive things. Write down all the positive things you like about yourself. Write them down. So you won't be thinking, the negative thoughts all the time. You are welcome, Mama Tia. Yes, you have to be teachable too. Look, let me tell you. One thing that I love about me, and this is what you all have to do. Write this stuff down. One thing I love about me, you said it, Mama Tia, I am teachable. I'm never in it. It's prideful to think. You can be proud of yourself without being prideful. It is prideful to think that you know everything, that no one can teach you anything. I told you all in the other video, my 6-year-old taught me something. When she was 6, she's 21 now. She was 6, and that thing stuck with me. That's what she said. Let me tell you exactly what she said. We were coming from daycare. We were coming from school. I think she was in kindergarten, maybe first at that time. Kindergarten or first, because, she was up 6. And she told me, and I was like, baby, how was your day? And she was like, my day wasn't good today. I'm like, why wasn't your day good today? And then she was like, well, Mommy, you're not going to have a good day every day. Every day won't be a good day. At 6 years old. And I was like, wow. And at that time, I was in my little head like, oh, you got to try to have a good day and, just being, the positive person that I am. And I said, my baby was right. And I looked and I said, she's right. Some days you're not going to have a good day. Every day is not going to be a good day. Especially, when you're parents, you want your child to go to school and behave and not give the teacher, any problems, which for the most part, they really did not. But she said she just didn't have a good day. And my baby taught me that small little lesson. It stuck with me forever. Just that simple thing. It may be simple to you all, or like you should know that already. But at that time, I didn't pay attention, And then when it came from my baby, I said, you know what? My baby's right. You're not going to have a good day every day. That's part of life. Things happen. And okay, if this day sucks, guess what? There's always tomorrow. But just simple things. My kids taught me simple things. We have to be teachable. But it's prideful to think that you know everything. It is prideful. I've sat humbly through something that someone was teaching me that I already knew. They thought they were teaching me something. I already knew it. But I wasn't too prideful, right? I wasn't operating in pride where some people would say, oh, I know that already. No, I sat right there. I humbled myself and I let the person teach me what they thought they were teaching me. I already knew, but guess what? I did find little things that I didn't know about it. That's another thing. If you know something, it's okay to sit through it and learn it again, because I'm sure it's something you've missed. It's just like reading a book. You reading a book once. Look how many revelations we get from the Bible. And some people brag about how they have read the Bible front and back 13, 14, 15 times. That's nothing. If you're not getting the revelation, if you're not learning something different, you reading through the Bible just to be reading it, that's nothing. Hooray for you. But if you're not getting the revelation, if you're not learning anything, something new, then what's the purpose? What is the purpose? So, but be proud of yourself for making it this far, for doing the work, for coming, finding people who God is leading you all to just listen to, because most people are just sharing wisdom. It's biblical wisdom. Sometimes it's backed up by scripture. Sometimes it's just wisdom. And sometimes it's things based on your experience that people are sharing with you. Their experience, them talking about what they've gone through and giving you wisdom, is something that resonates with you. Be thankful that, you're able to resonate, that you're able to, what is the other word? Not agree, because you don't have to agree with everything. That somebody has something similar that you've gone through, because sometimes we just want to know that we're not alone. That's why testimonies are so powerful, because people can feel like they can relate and they're not alone in this world, because it seems like everybody's living these perfect lives on social media when a lot of people are going through HE double hockey stick and they're trying to get over it and get through it. And then here come me or someone like me online sharing their testimony, sharing their story, and it makes people feel better that they're not the only one that experienced certain things. It's not that, I'm happy as you and not me, but it's just that you share your story and people be like, oh, I can relate to her. I've gone through that. Let me see how she overcame it, And majority of anything I talk about on here, you will overcome once you realize that you are responsible, and that once you take your power back, you can overcome anything. You can get through it. But you got to take full accountability for where you are and where you want to go. Right? And learn who you are in Christ. Learn who you are, by building a relationship with God yourself. Don't look for validation outside of what God is saying about you. Don't look for additional validation. Don't look for it from your spouse. Don't look for it from your mom, your dad, because you're going to be disappointed all the time. Don't look for it from your children. Don't look for it in your job. You're going to be disappointed. Don't look for it in your family. Don't look for it in your friends. You have to know who you are, and you have to know who you are in God and how He made you. You have to know who you are for yourself, because we've been taught that, and I'm gonna say this and I gotta go, hope my phone will go out. We've been taught that happiness is something that is on the outside of us. We've been taught that happiness is something that is added. No, happiness is something that is in. Happiness is not added to you. Happiness is within you. You have to be happy within yourself. It comes from you. No one can make you happy. No one. It's from within. It's from within. You got to find out who you are. When you find out who you are, and you know who you are, and you know what it is that you want, that's when you're happy. And you know what God says about you, and you fill your own cup up, and you give people what's left over, you fill yourself up, and then what is left over, what is overflowing from your cup, that is what you give out. You don't give out what you need for you. You don't give out from this, the half. This is imaginary cup. Although this is a bottle, but this is imaginary glass, right? You can't give when you're half on, half full, half full or half empty, however you want to look at it. You can't give from this state. You got to give from the overflow. The water needs to be coming from off the top. This thing needs to be overflowing, and you give people what's there. You give what's coming out of the top of the cup, okay? You don't give from what's already in there. That's for you. That is for you. You're going to need that when you go through your seasons of grief. When you go through your seasons of grief, when you lose a loved one, you're going to need that. You're going to need all that reserved for you. But fill yourself up so much to where you got enough to give from your overflow. You give what's flowing out of the cup. What's on the ground, the flood. Yes, Mama Tia. So when you give from that, guess what? You still got a lot for yourself. You still got enough for you. But what we do is we dehydrate ourselves. We give from when the cup, we barely got a drop in there. We barely got something in there, and we trying to give that. No, we go back. You got to go back and restore yourself. Do what it is you need to do to restore yourself. Restore yourself. If you got to unplug from everybody, the world, social media, everything, whatever you got to do, unplug so you can pour back into yourself. Whatever it takes, you're not going to miss anything. One thing about with social media, let me tell you all something. And I hope it never comes to this point. But if I get to where social media is becoming my God or my YouTube channel, I will delete this. I will deactivate this channel in a New York minute. If I got to that point. But see, I have balance, right? I have balance, so I know it won't get to that point. But if anything consumes me, like any social media, I would deactivate it. I deactivated my Facebook because I just felt like I had too much going on. Like all these social media platforms, why? Like, why? What's the reason? So I deactivated that one. And I just use my YouTube. I don't be on TikTok as much. And I don't be on Instagram. But Facebook, it was something about that Facebook. So I deactivated that. I deactivated it. So you all be blessed. So don't let things consume you. Don't let things become your God. Don't let things overwhelm you. Don't let things distract you. Oh, they really can, Barbara. That's why you have to know who you are. That's why you do the work on you. And when you identify Those users, you know how to distance yourself. When you identify those users, you know how to distance yourself, and you know how to set boundaries. Yes. And that's when when you fill your cup up, you know how to have boundaries. That's one thing about filling your cup up, making sure you're filled and making sure you're whole. You will be able to set healthy boundaries, and you will be okay with it. You won't feel guilty about it. You won't feel guilty about it, because sometimes we can feel guilty as chosen ones. I've gone through that season of guilt because I had to cut people off, because I had to stop dealing with people. I've gone through it. I've gone through it. I don't hate people, but for my mental health and my sanity, and to fill my cup back up, and to deal with myself, and another reason, so I won't take my issues out on others, I had to distance myself. It's a process. It's a learning process, Barbara. And everybody don't want to do it because it's hard. It is very hard. People don't want to do it because it's work. And it's hard. And you got to go through those emotions. You got to go through every emotion possible. But you got to be willing to do it to get on the other side. I was willing. I was willing to do anything that it takes to keep me at peace. I was willing to cut off anybody. I was willing to stop talking to anyone. Anybody. Oh, I went through that stage too, Barbara. I cried. I did the ugly cry. It hurt. I journaled. I did what I had to do because I wanted to be free. I wanted to set myself free in my soul. I wanted my soul to be free. My mind, my will, and emotions. I wanted it to be free. I can understand that, Mama Tia. No one wants to take that responsibility. People will abandon you when times get hard, but it only made you stronger. You learned lessons from that. It was something you gained from that. You got peace. You got a peace of mind because you did the right thing. You did the right thing. Yep, you did the right thing. I was one of those ones willing to take care, because my grandmother raised me. And she died, I think, when I was 23. I want to say 23. Yep, that when I was 23. But I had made up my mind, whatever happens, I was going to take care of my grandmother. I was going to be that one. I don't care whatever I had to do. I was going to take care of my grandmother. She didn't have to worry about anything. She didn't have to worry about going to no nursing home or anything. Whatever I had to do, I was going to be that one to step up and take care of my baby. I'm sorry to hear that, Barbara. I'm so sorry to hear that. But I was just willing. You know how you just be willing? You have your mind fixed and set. That's one thing. When you have your mind set, it's hard to change it. But my grandmother, she wasn't going to have to worry about nothing. So you all be blessed. It was nice talking to you all. But be proud of yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing the work. You're getting through. You made it this far. Give yourself a pat on the back and go and, just continue doing what you're doing. It's going to be a little rough and hard, but you're doing it. You are doing it, and you're going to get through. So you all be blessed. Okay? You're welcome, Mama Tia. You be blessed, dear.